bad girls. Today, a bad girl comes clean. A real life touched by an angel, and a drunken driver almost succeeds in destroying many lives. That bad girl's you. This is Randy. Randy, how bad is bad?
Growing up, I was a handful, you know. I hung out with the bad guys and ran with the bad girls. I used to also run with gang members. I'm from Los Angeles.
Okay. Were you a member of the gang?
No, but I dated the gang members.
Okay.
I was the bad seed in the family.
How many other seeds were there?
She has 4 daughters. I'm number 3.
And you were the worst?
I was it.
Okay. Have you changed?
I've changed. I have 3 sons. I work. I go to school. I actually have a home now.
What made the change, or you know, what turned you around?
I had to stand back and look at me and look at where I've been to identify where I want to go in life. And I realized that where I've been and what I've gone through, if I didn't turn my life around, I would end up in, you know, the penitentiary or dead.
They were very poor.
We were very poor.
Now, very poor is there's not enough food to eat. Did Mother have clothes? Did she have anything?
Well, Sally, that's why I'm here today. My mother's never had any clothes. My mother has never bought anything with a price tag on it.
No shoes?
Not that I remember. I'm sure she bought them because she had shoes, but my mother's never come home with, you know, bags of clothes.
Now, I've been told that once as a kid you saw your mother with safety pins to hold her bra in place and knots in her underwear to keep it on after the elastic had gone.
Yes. But that's the type of mother she was. She didn't care how she looked. She just wanted to make sure.
How could you reward her by running with a gang then? How could that have happened?
Selfish, really vain, not caring about what was going on, just basically myself.
Everything seemed to be going well for you, and then you had a child and tragedy struck. What happened?
I had a son that was born with a cleft tongue. That means that his tongue was connected to the bottom of his mouth. He couldn't lift his tongue and he couldn't speak. At the time, I was on assistance, and my insurance didn't pay for him to have the necessary surgery that would correct that. So my mother, being a born-again Christian, prayed about it, and
Now, we already heard that Marty is the grandson that you wrote the letter for so he could have an operation.
Oh.
And Marty is how old now?
He's 4.
He's 4. And he has just learned to speak. He is still taking his speech lessons. Marty, do you have something special you'd like? Our old daughter, Samantha. Samantha, you're very pretty. Ooh. And Mickey's story is a little different than some of the others you've heard. Mickey really said to us that she'd like to say thank you to a 7-year-old. You want to thank a 7-year-old?
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but I do.
Oh, you must be crazy, because usually I'm saying to 7-year-olds, come on now. So this must be a special one. Mickey feels kind of helpless because she doesn't believe she can give her daughter her one true wish, and that is a cure. And Mickey wrote me a letter that really touched my heart, and I felt the pain that she was going through as a mother who feels helpless. Now, I know this is difficult. Do you think you could kind of read what you wrote?
Dear Sally, I've seen you inspire young children's self-esteem with makeovers. I'm wondering if you could help my 7-year-old with her problem. My daughter Samantha is having her entire body taken over with psoriasis. She feels very ugly and kids make fun of her at school. She is even losing parts of her hair. It just breaks my heart, Sally, to see my little girl who used to smile all the time looking very sad anymore. My daughter is so precious, and I love her, and she gives me so much. Can you help a mother who is so helpless, a desperate mother in Colorado?
Well, you're not in Colorado now. That's the good news.
Yeah. She asks me every day if she's ugly. She's got kids throwing things at her, telling her that she's ugly, teasing her. She's got little first graders that teases her. And she shouldn't have to put up with this every day of her life. This is not an everyday life.
Samantha, is it tough? Is it, hon?
Yes.
I think perhaps Mother has told you this because mothers are pretty smart, but can I tell you something? Sometimes, Samantha, God gives us things that we have to overcome, okay? He may make somebody a little too short, and somebody else has some psoriasis, and somebody else has the wrong color eyeballs or something like that. And it's just, what happens is it teaches us to care about each other, and it teaches us that when we overcome these things, we're very strong. We're stronger than people who don't have psoriasis, okay? And that's part of the lesson. Now here comes the duh part. So here's this mother with this problem. And remember what we said, we don't have this kind of, was a neighbor with a very tragic story. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. The Reardon family, they're just a fantastic family. They've been through more than any family should have to endure. They lost their baby to leukemia after a 15-month battle. And we met them when we moved to Ohio. My husband was making a career transition and became friends with them very quickly. And she shared with us her story about Courtney and...
Courtney was the daughter's name?
The little girl. Mm-hmm.
How old was she when she died?
3 years old.
3 years old. She had a 15-month battle. As a result of her daughter's death, did she go into mourning and get bitter and angry? And
it was hard. I mean, initially, I'm sure she went through all of those stages. Sure. But what is so miraculous about Jody is that she was able to reach out and start a foundation, Touched by an Angel, in honor of Courtney. And now she's helping. This was 9 months ago that they lost their daughter. And she's helped so many families.
She helps cancer children,
right.
And she pays bills and brings food and sometimes pays the rent. So
whatever they need.
She's taken her pain and turned it
into something productive to help.
In addition to the death of her daughter, she shared another disappointment with you. What was that?
Yes. Make-A-Wish Foundation had become involved in their case to grant a wish for Courtney, and they were planning to take a trip last summer, and little Courtney passed away in May before they could actually take that trip. And so it was very devastating for Megan, their 5-year-old. I mean, she had just lost her sister. Mommy had been at the hospital with Courtney for 15 months, and Daddy was working real hard, you know, to make ends meet, pay their medical bills.
Does she have any idea?
No.
Okay, you go backstage.
Okay.
We're going to bring out, now this is the mother Jody, the father Todd, and this is the little girl who couldn't get to go on the trip. By the way, she had to live with her grandmother while her sister was ill with leukemia, so she didn't get to see her dad too much. They have no idea that it's their neighbor who really recently moved into the neighborhood. Well, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you, family? This is Jody and Todd and Megan. Jody, our producers told you that someone wanted to talk to you. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why you're here. Can you share with us how you found out that your daughter, Courtney, who is no longer... Bonnie would like us to find out what a neat guy her son-in-law is. Now, don't mothers-in-law and son-in-law usually have some problems? Well, you know, you see all kinds of exciting things on television. A mother-in-law who likes her son-in-law. Because he's helped you through some very tough times.
Yes, he has.
Can you tell me about your son-in-law?
My daughter and my son-in-law were married 5 years ago. And a year after that, my husband died. And
first thing he did was, when your husband died, was say, let's move in with my mother-in-law?
yes.
What? What? Yes,
Yes, he did.
I admit this is an unusual guy. And you thought you had to go back to work to pay those bills. So when you said to him, okay, come and live with me, but I got to go back to work, what did he say to you?
He told me to quit my job and that he would take care of me.
I understand that tragedy struck very recently.
Yes.
Something pretty awful happened this
Yes.
past Christmas. It was in the morning, and your daughter, you had to work?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, a lot of us always feel sorry for ourselves when we have to work on Christmas and New Year's and holidays. I know I do. And she said she would drive you to work. So you had breakfast at a diner.
Yes.
And she dropped you off at work. And then what happened?
On the way home, she was killed. She hit a phone pole, and it killed her instantly.
She fell asleep at the wheel?
Yes.
And so she was killed on
Christmas Day.
This is this past Christmas. This was such a tragic thing that happened. It must have been very difficult.
Yes, it was.
For your son-in-law. I know he's been taking this.
He's taking it very hard.
Very hard.
This is not the first wife. His last wife also died in a car accident.
If he should ever remarry, you know he would still take care of you.
He would be there for me no matter what.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
We're going to tell you a little bit about this great guy, but I want you to go backstage while we bring Greg out. And he does not know that you're here, right?
Right.
Okay. And we would like to see what his life is like and what has happened to him.
Come on, Craig. Have a seat right there in the first chair. Oh. Okay.
Greg, thank you very much for joining us today. Would you say a best friend?
Yes, I do.
Okay, named Mary Ellen. And Mary Ellen has helped Linda through some very tough times. I want to explain to you what they were, but I want you to keep in mind that Mary Ellen has not had a rosy life. I'm beginning to wonder where these people in the movies and on television who have rosy lives are, because we don't meet very many of them. Tell me about you, if I might. I said that one's world sometimes just falls apart. What happened?
Even though she had so many problems with her, taking care of her own daughter, she constantly thought about helping other people, and it encouraged her to go into the medical field and become a respiratory therapist so that she could help save other people's lives.
Okay, a very special person. Now, why did you need the comfort of this close friend?
I really needed her to be there for me when my daughter Christina was killed by a drunk driver 2 days after her 14th birthday.
She was with a friend.
Yes,
and what
she
happened?
was.
The friend.
My daughter Christina was with her best friend, and her best friend survived the accident. My daughter was killed instantly, and her best friend went through a lot of plastic surgery. And then 2 years and 2 weeks after the accident, she took a bottle of sleeping pills and went to bed and never woke up again.
Why do you think she killed herself?
They were talking about amputating her leg and doing more plastic surgery.
And she just couldn't put up with it.
And she couldn't put up with the pain anymore. But Mary Ellen, It was like losing two children.
Sure, you lost your daughter and then you had the best friend. And then I know this because I have two of my daughter's friends who are like children to me. And then you lost her. So this is a lady who, with her own troubles, has helped you and other people out. We're going to bring her out here, so I want you to go backstage. She doesn't have any idea that you're here to thank her. All right, you go hide. Thank you. And I'll sit here, so I'll go down there in the audience so she won't be afraid. Let's bring Mary Ellen out. Hi there, Mary Ellen. Thank you for joining us today. Do you have any reason why you're here?
I don't have a clue. Someone's supposed to be thanking me.
Okay. So let's find out who this nice person is that